Hey Astra Kids, and welcome back. This is your May 2021 horoscope for Virgo Moon or Virgo Ascendant. So, starting off here in the month of May, on the 1st, we have Mercury shifting into the sign of Taurus. So, Mercury is now leaving behind Aries, which is this very active, adventurous, lively energy that we discussed back in the month of April. So as we've been going through this transit of Mercury and Aries, there's been energy all over the place. This has been crazy as Mars and Mercury are not friends. Mercury and Venus, however, are great friends. And so as Mercury comes into the sign of Taurus, this grounds this energy. This makes this more practical, where this logic, this communication becomes much more grounded. We're able to navigate this energy much better here, where you will feel this groundedness coming into the month of May. Now, along with that, Uranus will meet up with the Sun on the 1st as well, for those of you who are following those 3 extra planets. And so this is an interesting energy as our consciousness is being exploded through this Uranus transit. So this is a great time for this flash of inspiration, this insight, where we can see these unexpected changes coming in through our consciousness, through our awareness. Now, moving forward here to the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. Venus is shifting ahead into the sign of Taurus, where we'll meet up in this conjunction with Mercury. This is a great influence. Here we can see the communication style. We can see the way of conveying logic and understanding coming into this peaceful, more grounded energy, as Venus is at home here in the sign of Taurus and giving the support, giving the aid to Mercury as well. This is a great transit for practical thinking, for decision making, for negotiating as we're going through this transit here of Mercury and Venus in Taurus. Along with that, Mercury is going to meet up with Rahu later on here on the 4th as well. This is a great position also, as Mercury and Rahu are friendly to one another to a certain extent. This will give great aspiration, great inspiration towards thinking, towards researching, towards collecting data and information. Remember that Rahu is a planet of obsession, and so Rahu is also connected to technology. It is connected to research, and so anyone who is planning on learning a new subject, anyone who is planning on doing deep research, anything that is involved in writing, this is a great time, as Rahu is going to blow up this Mercury energy, where this gives us a tremendous amount of curiosity, a tremendous amount of communication that we can use at this time. On the 13th of May, Venus will also meet up with Rahu. Venus and Rahu are great friends to one another. Venus, of course, because it is the planet of luxury, of beauty, of wealth, of attraction, and Rahu, again, being this planet of obsession. It wants more, it wants to gain something. It is an ambitious planet. And so Rahu and Venus get together, and the things that you want to achieve, the things that you want to gain and attract into your life, this amplifies this. This gives you the ambition to achieve these things that you would like. And so you can see, especially for those of you who have Venus placed in a good condition within your chart, this gives you the ability to acquire the wealth, to acquire the luxury, to acquire the possessions that you are looking towards throughout this transit here in the month of May. As we move forward on the 14th of May, the Sun will shift into Taurus, marking a new focus, a new center of consciousness, as we are putting our focus now into this more stable, more grounded, more peaceful energy. Remember that the Sun was exalted in Aries, where we had all of this energy, we had all of this drive, all of this liveliness. Now, as the Sun comes into its enemy sign of Taurus, this is where the Sun loses its energy, because remember that the Sun and Venus are not friends. So here the Sun is calmed down, is slowed down in the sign of Taurus, where this is a great time to relax, to go inward, to ground yourself, to slow all of this energy down, and to really bring yourself back into the present. Moving forward here on the 18th of May, Venus will meet up with Mercury once again. So this is a huge time here again of this communication where we're using our speech in a beautiful, peaceful way. So this is great for communication. This is great for writing. This is great for negotiation. Any deal making that you are trying to get across during this time. Moving forward here on the 19th of May, the sun will meet up with Rahu. So now we're getting closer to this eclipse season as the sun is coming closer to the position of Rahu. And remember that wherever Rahu is, it is going to explode. It's going to give this illusion of this bigger image or this bigger illusion than what it may seem to be. And so here we want to be careful as Rahu can explode the ego. This can give a strong sense of self. And so this is where we can see a lot of ego issues coming up with Rahu here with the sun. This is a great time for confidence. This is a great time for stepping up and moving forward, taking the risk, taking the action to get the things done that you want in your life. But once again, be careful of that expansion, that explosion of the ego that can take place here during this transit. Now, all of these planets of the sun, of Venus, of Rahu, of Mercury are all going to receive a fourth aspect over from Jupiter and Aquarius. So this is really going to expand the knowledge, expand the insight. Again, with all of these placements, there's so much brilliance, there's so much practicality here where we can use this knowledge in a more grounded way, in a more practical way towards our goals, towards the things that we want to get done as this energy is slowed down, it's calmed down here in the sign of Taurus. On the 23rd of May, Saturn will station retrograde, and we will talk about this in a future video. But this is a major time of going back and looking over the structures, looking over the routines, looking at the things that you have in place, and making sure that you have the proper discipline, that you have the proper order, the proper structure in your life. This also affects us collectively as Saturn is a societal planet. This is all about the structure, the rules that are put in place here in our physical construct. Moving forward on the 26th of May, Mercury will shift into Gemini, into its own sign. And so here the intellect is very high. This becomes a strong position of communication, of writing, of connecting to others, of pulling in information from different places. And you can feel the curiosity, you can feel the adventure starting to increase here of wanting to learn, wanting to explore more, where this can really help in expanding your knowledge depending on where Mercury is positioned in your chart. On the 28th of May, Venus will shift into the sign of Gemini as well, where it will meet up with Mercury once again. So again, this communication style of negotiating, of making peace, of resolving issues, of being able to make deals continues to increase here with this aspect, this conjunction between Venus and Mercury. On the 29th, we will see Mercury station retrograde as well. So we will get into that in a future video. A lot of major things that are coming here. Now for the position of the moon, I will talk about that in a future video. But major moments that we will go through here are on the 11th of May when we will have a new moon in the Kritika Nakshatra. So this will fall at the end of the sign of Aries. And this will be an interesting one as it will be in a conjunction with Uranus. We will talk more about that in a future video. Also, we have the big event of the full moon lunar eclipse happening in Anuradha in the sign of Scorpio here on May 26th. So that is a huge event as that will shift us into eclipse season. So for those of you with a Virgo moon or Virgo ascendant, we have a stellium of Mercury, Venus, and the Sun, which will be shifting from your 9th house into your 10th house. And so this is a huge time of taking the knowledge that you've gained, taking the wisdom that you've learned, the counseling that you had, and to put this into your career, into your goals, into what you want to accomplish. And of course, we will see Mercury and Venus, which will shift ahead into your 11th house to finish this out as well. So any creative talents, any skills that you have gained through your learning, whether that was through education, through gaining advice through others, or through your intuition, using this and allowing this to navigate you towards your goals, towards your success at this time. And of course, these planets will meet up with Rahu as they are finishing out here in your 9th house. This is very positive, moving you towards your ambitions, towards your goals. As they're here in this conjunction with Rahu, they will also receive a 4th aspect from Jupiter as it sits in Aquarius there in your 6th house. So once again, this is a huge time for improving on your skills, for moving ahead in your career, in your job, making sure that all the tasks and everything are taken care of, and your education making a huge impact on this. Once again, whether this is through your actual education, through counseling, whatever the case may be, this is a huge time of taking everything that you've learned through this last month here of April and applying it into your goals, into your accomplishments that you want to achieve here. We're also going to see this Saturn retrograde going on in your 5th house. Awesome time to plan out all the details of what you want to create, what you want to work towards, as this will be in an aspect over to your 11th house as well. But also from that 5th house, it will aspect over to your 7th house. Once again, your career is huge at this time. That 7th house also representing the marketplace, how you're approaching others. This is a huge time of working towards your goals, your ambitions, towards your career at this time. Now, as Mercury comes into a retrograde in that 10th house, this is going to be very interesting here towards the end of May, where this is a time of deep reflection on your goals, on your ambitions, on what you were able to accomplish, what you weren't able to accomplish, and looking over those details, making sure that you are going after everything that you want, that you're making any sort of revisions that need to take place here. Now, along with that, we will have a new moon, which will happen back in the sign of Aries in your 8th house. And so that will be huge as well. We'll discuss that later on as we get into future videos, but that will come into a conjunction with Uranus in the Kritika Nakshatra there in your 8th house. Huge moment. At the big event here is the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio happening in the Anuradha Nakshatra. That is huge. We'll discuss more about that in a future video as well. But this will be a huge moment of working towards your goals, as this will happen in your 3rd house. To finish it off, for those of you with a Virgo moon, Virgo Lagna, I pulled some cards from the Vedic Astrology deck. So the first card that comes up here is the Ashwini Nakshatra. Once again, this is a time of new beginnings, moving forward in your career, moving forward in your ambitions. At this time, you have a lot of energy, a lot of stamina, a lot of skills that you can use to work towards your goals. Second card here is the Swati Nakshatra. And so this is a huge time of moving in the direction of your goals. Remember that this is a very windy nakshatra that shifts and moves things around. And this is highly connected to luxury, as this is within the Libra sign. So this is a huge time of moving towards your goals, moving towards your ambitions, moving towards the achievements that you want to see in your life. Next card here is the Bharani Nakshatra. Once again, you have this creativity, you have this skill in you now that you have learned, now that you've gained everything that you've needed to work towards your goals, using your skills, using your talents, using what you have to build towards this success. Next card here is the Magha Nakshatra. Once again, this nakshatra being represented by the throne as it sits in the sign of Leo. This is a huge time of working towards that higher position in your life, working towards your best life, working towards those achievements and ambitions that you have for yourself. This can also be a time where making sure that you're devoting yourself to your spirituality, to your duty, to your routine can help propel you towards this higher status, this higher position that you are moving towards at this time. Next card here is Jupiter. And so once again, using those skills, using that knowledge that you've gained, Jupiter being the guru connected to this higher wisdom. And so anything that you've learned, anything that you've gained over this time can help expand your life in a huge way, moving you towards the wealth, the prosperity that you want to see. Next card here is the Pushya Nakshatra. Once again, making sure that you're staying true towards your purpose, your direction, that you're doing everything that is nurturing and taking care of your purpose in life. Last nakshatra here is the Shravana nakshatra. Again, as you are listening into your intuition, as you're following that higher guidance, that wisdom that you've gained there in that 9th house, this is going to take you to great heights in your career, in your goals at this time. This has been your May 2021 horoscope for Virgo Moon or Virgo Ascendant. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. As you can see here, we have some major things to talk about, including a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. So you don't want to miss out. Make sure to hit that notification bell. If you are interested in learning more on Vedic astrology, there is a course available in the Facebook group, Astrology Lessons with Daquan Jones. There's a link down below in the comments along with the description. I want to thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.